Key focus areas include expanding investment promotion efforts, strengthening engagement with international and regional investors through targeted roadshows, trade missions, digital marketing campaigns, strengthening the investment approvals process, enhancing efficiency in processing applications and approvals to create a more investor-friendly environment, leveraging strategic partnership, collaborating with multilateral agencies and development partners to unlock new investment opportunities, leveraging the hosting of the Afro-Caribbean Trade Investment Conference in July of this year, a major platform to showcase Grenada's investment potential to regional and global stakeholders. By prioritizing this initiative, Grenada will further strengthen its investment climate, increase capital flows, drive economic diversification, and expand job creation opportunities. Support for MSME development. Mr. Speaker, we reiterate the crucial importance of supporting the creation of new micro, small, and medium-sized enterprise and expansion of existing ones in delivering sustainable jobs throughout the state of Grenada. In 2025, the following intervention will be pursued in this regard. One, the extension of the incentive package for non-priority sectors on selective building materials, equipment, capital, goods, and other critical inputs. Two, the extension of the MSME concession for priority sectors. Three, the repurposing of EC 7 million in the existing funds at the Grenada Development Bank as equity contribution to support business lending. Four, the recapitalization of Small Business Development Fund administered by the GDP with an injection of 3 million. Five, the provision of competitive matching innovation grants up to US $30,000 for beneficiary through the Grenada Investment Development Corporation as part of the OECD Scale Innovation Project. Six, the provision of grant financing to farmers through DB as part of the Challenge Grant Component GCRIS project. The provision of grant financing by the Ministry of Agriculture to support young farmers through the CARICOM Development Fund support Youth in Agriculture Initiative. Strengthening the CBI by investment program. Mr. Speaker, Grenada's CBI program continues to evolve. It is now a noteworthy contributor to government's revenue, tourism, and job creation. Our programs continue to be one of the best, with deeply enhanced, robust due diligence exercise. In 2024, Grenada and 4 other CBI jurisdictions in the Eastern Caribbean signed a memorandum of agreement which inter alia called for establishment of an independent regional regulator for the industry. Legislative drafting and consultation have commenced with a plan to have the independent regional regulator operated by mid-2026. Mr. Speaker, Citizen by Investment Program is also very innovative. We have listened to the genuine advocacy of local businessmen and women for their participation in the program. While there are already a few local developers who have successfully marketed their projects, the year ahead will witness a ramping up of such projects. Mr. Speaker, this government in the coming weeks will pass amendment regulations to reduce 70% of all fees that are being paid by local Grenadian developers with new projects in any priority economic sector under the CBI program. Moreover, Mr. Speaker, we will facilitate the mentoring and coaching of our local Grenadian developers with international developers to help them execute their projects with utmost efficiency. Prudent economic management. Mr. Speaker, we continue to manage the Grenada economy with distinction. No amount of old talk and disinformation will change that fact. The International Monetary Fund, in a release published on July 24, 2025, commended our government In a release published on July 2025, commended our government for the excellent and stewardship of the economy. This is the third commendation in a row. Moreover, they lauded our decisive and strategic handling of the Hurricane Beryl. Mr. Speaker, other reputable and international organizations have expressed similar sentiments. This speaks volumes, Mr. Speaker, about our ability to lead, not only in times of calm, but also in times of crisis. Building on our strong record of fiscal discipline, aggressive resource mobilization, and prudent debt management, we will press ahead with ambitious reforms to maintain economic stability and build resilience towards achieving robust, sustained, and inclusive growth. Modernization labor relations. Mr. Speaker, we remain steadfast in our commitment to modernize labor relations to ensure that the needs of both the employer and employees are met. As promised, we met our commitment to the workers by addressing the minimum wage, a matter of zero significance for the former administration. In 2025, we will continue to modernize labor relations by updating our labor laws, enhancing dialogue with stakeholders, and enhancing the dispute resolution mechanism. Through these efforts, we aim at fostering good labor relations and maintaining industrial peace, enhancing the governance of state bodies. Mr. Speaker, we are continuing to make good progress in strengthening the governance and fiscal management of public institutions. As I speak, 125 directors have completed the Directors' Education and Accreditation Program at the Corporate Governance Institute of Canada, facilitated by the Eastern Caribbean Securities Exchange. Further, Mr. Speaker, we have issued a governance and fiscal management handbook for public sector institutions, which aims to bring about clear guidance on how they should operate within the legal, fiscal, and governance framework provided by various legislative instruments and best practice. Mr. Speaker, we are all aware of the legacy of the former administration regarding oversight of statutory bodies and state-owned enterprise, so I spare you the details here. National security, home affairs, information, and disaster management. Mr. Speaker, we will continue to work diligently to maintain Grenada's reputation as one of the safest places in the region and the world to work and live as a model of disaster management. My government priorities for 2025 are as follows. We are committed to reducing crimes through targeted initiative, community partnership, and leveraging modern technology for law enforcement. We will invest in advanced crime prevention technology, expand community policing, and introduce tougher measures to address organized crime and repeat offenders. Legislation will be introduced for the installation of the CCTV cameras in public spaces across the country. We will remain steadfast in the efforts to enhance the working conditions of the Royal Grenada Police Force and His Majesty's Prison to ensure greater efficiency and effectiveness in maintaining law and order. To this end, we have accomplished a significant milestone by relocating the police headquarters from Fort George to the Coronage, a long-awaited and welcome move by many Grenadians. Added to that, the Granville Police Station will be relocated to the former M&IB Granville location very soon. Going forward, we will be taking proactive steps to improve the other police stations, including the Coast Guard base, the prison system. Additionally, we will be strengthening the human resource capacity of both police and prisons in 2025. To improve passenger clearance, we commissioned on Thursday, March 6 in particular, 6 new kiosks at the Maurice Bishop International. We will replace physical ED cards with an online version and upgrade the seafarer's ID passport and emergency travel document to meet international standards. We are committed to enhancing financial security through a public sensitization program at the Financial Intelligence Unit to educate citizens on preventing scams and securing their finances. We will introduce an automated system for the application and certification process for permanent residents, citizens, including citizenship by investment and alien land holding license. Additionally, we will transition the National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA, into a statutory entity to improve preparedness, response, and recovery efforts. For the Government Information Service Program and Printry, we will focus on rebuilding human capacity and upgrading equipment to enhance productivity and broaden service delivery to the wider population. A combined total allocation of $133.9 million is allocated in this 2025 budget to support national security, information, disaster, and management systems. Prioritizing foreign policy and trade. Mr. Speaker, as Grenada navigates global challenges and advances its transformation agenda, we remain focused on strengthening external relationships and trade. In 2025, government will enhance diplomatic engagement, promote South-South cooperation, and deepen ties with Africa and Asian Pacific nations, strengthen Caribbean regional integration, and advocating for small state development in global forums to also be central to our efforts. In the area of trade, the government will enhance trade and export facilitation by reducing barriers, improving export readiness, and supporting value-added production. Focus will be placed on streamlining trade processes, leveraging trade agreements, trade promotion, and providing technical assistance, particularly in agriculture and manufacturing. An amount of $23.5 million has been allocated in the 2025 budget to support foreign policy and trade. Economic reforms. Mr. Speaker, this budget is responsive to the near-term challenge as well as the long-term development needs of our nation. In this section, I will elaborate on the reform of existing policies to enhance long-term growth and competitiveness and relief measures to reduce the impact of inflation on the population. Structural policies. Mr. Speaker, to support our transformative agenda, the following structural reforms will be implemented in 2025. 1. Development and implementation of a policy on the procurement, maintenance, and disposal of government vehicles. Mr. Speaker, efficient management of the government vehicle fleet is critical to ensuring cost effectiveness, accountability, and operational efficiency in public service delivery. To address long-outstanding challenges related to vehicle acquisition, maintenance, and disposal, the government is advancing comprehensive policy reform. This policy will establish clear guidelines for the procurement, maintenance, and disposal of government vehicles to improve transparency, reduce costs, enhance fleet efficiency. The Grenada Transport Commission will drive the development of this policy. Amendment to the importation policy on used vehicles. Mr. Speaker, as part of our strategy to ease the congestion of traffic on our nation's road and improve road safety and environmental concerns, we'll amend the current policy on the We will amend the current policy on importation of used vehicles. The existing restriction, which prohibits importation of vehicles 10 years and older, will be revised downwards after consulting widely on the issue. The new policy will take effect no later than June 2025. Cost of legal measures. Mr. Speaker, since assuming office, the government has taken decisive steps to mitigate the impact of inflation, recognizing our heavy reliance on goods imported without these interventions. Ordinary Grenadians would face significant higher prices, particularly for essential items such as food and fuel. While global inflation has caused compared to previous years. Mr. Speaker, price pressures persist due to supply chain disruption, geopolitical tension, and climate-related shocks. As a small island developing state, Grenada remains highly vulnerable to external economic conditions, which continue to drive up cost of living. That said, Mr. Speaker, this government remains committed to shielding citizens from the adverse effect of high prices for as long as necessary, particularly for essential goods and services. In the 2025 budget, the following cost of living measures will remain in effect. 1. VAT, extension of VAT and VAT exemption on essential goods. To ease the financial burden on the household goods, government will extend the VAT exemption on 20 basic items and essential food, ranging from cooking oils to baby diapers to all female sanitaries, hygiene products including sanitary napkins, tampons, panty liners for an additional year, effective January 1st, 2025, with a review scheduled for December 25. The full list of items can be found in Appendix 2. The estimated revenue foregone for these measures is $3.1 million. Mr. Speaker, while we had intended to further protect consumers by placing these items under formal price control for monitoring by the Consumer Affairs Division, this step was not completed in 2024. However, we remain fully committed to implementing these measures in the near term to prevent price gouging and ensure that savings reach the consumers. Maintaining the fixed price on cooking gas. The government will continue to cap the price on the 20-pound gas cylinder at $40, helping to cushion households from fluctuations in global energy prices. The estimated revenue foregone in this measure will be $2 million. 3, reduction in petrol tax. To mitigate the impact of high fuel costs, government will maintain the reduced petrol tax at $3.50 per gallon instead of the $5.50 per gallon on duty-paid sales. This measure alone is not expected to result. This measure alone is expected to result in $26.9 million in foregone revenue. Electricity subsidy for low consumption households. To support low-income households, government will maintain the $10 monthly electricity subsidy for all residential consumers using up to 99 kilowatts per month at an estimated cost of $3 million. The following new cost of living measures will be introduced. Public transport subsidy. Mr. Speaker, our bus fares, which are regulated by the government, have not increased over a decade. That said, our bus operators are faced with high and rising operational costs, are legitimately seeking an increase in bus fares. Recognizing the impact of an increase in bus fare on the population, government is introducing a public transportation subsidy to support bus operators and maintain affordability for commuters. Through this initiative, the government, through the Grenada Transport Commission, will provide direct subsidy to registered bus operators to help offset the increasing cost of fuel and maintenance. This measure is designed to subsidize operation expenses and in turn maintain the current regulated bus fares, preventing undue financial burden on the traveling public. The annual cost of the subsidy is estimated at $12 million. Mr. Speaker, in total, this targeted relief package represents an investment of over $47 million, a 75% increase over 2024 in direct support to Grenadian households. These measures underscore our commitment to protecting the most vulnerable while balancing our need for long-term fiscal stability. As global economic conditions evolve, we will continue to monitor external developments and take proactive steps to safeguard our people from economic shocks. Conclusion. Mr. Speaker, as we reflect on our journey through 2024, we stand as a testament to resilience, determination, unwavering commitment to the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Despite the trials of Hurricane Barry and the excessive rains in November, we do not falter. Instead, we rose to the occasion, delivering on our promises and securing a brighter future for our people. Indeed, we have demonstrated that we are a government at work, promises made, promises kept. Our nation has witnessed the fulfillment of long overdue reform, from long minimum wage adjustment to the historic implementation of the contributory pension plan. We have empowered our youth through digital skills training, increased wages for our e-money workers, and ensured that no child goes hungry in our schools. Our economic growth has remained strong, investor confidence is unwavering, and our people are finding opportunities to thrive. But, Mr. Speaker, even as we celebrate these achievements, we remain mindful that our work is not done. We press forward knowing that our strength and wisdom come not from ourselves alone, but from the Almighty God. For, as Philippians 4:13 reminds us, open quote, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. We remain humbled by this responsibility, fully aware that to whom much is given, much is required. Luke 12:48. We are called not only to govern, but also to serve, ensuring that no one is left behind, from our children to our youth to our elderly. As we look ahead to the next 25 years, we call on our Grenadians to unite in the spirit of nation building and collective progress. For as Proverbs 29:18 states, where there is no vision, the people perish. Our vision is clear, a resilient rising Grenada, one that stands firm on the foundation of equity, prosperity, and sustainable development. Mr. Speaker, let us move forward in unity, putting Grenada first in all that we do. Let us build a legacy worthy of future generations, ensuring that we leave behind is greater than what we inherited. With renewed energy and unwavering commitment, we affirm our pledge to work tirelessly for you, the people of Grenada, in 2025 under the theme, and I quote, towards Vision 75, Grenada-Resilient and Rising, end of quote. May God bless Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Let us unite, let us build, let us rise. Acknowledgements. Mr. Speaker, it would be remiss of me if I did not take this opportunity to thank all our friends and partners who have helped us through our journey. As you can appreciate, our list of acknowledgement is extremely long. Therefore, a detailed listing can be found in Appendix 3 of this statement. Permit me, however, to mention just a few. We cannot thank enough our Creator. Allow me to reiterate sincere gratitude to the Prime Minister and my cabinet colleagues, who have a great team of men and women who love Grenada and are committed to serving you. I wish to also thank all those who contributed to the preparation and presentation of the 2025 budget and accompanying documents, including the staff of the various ministries, departments, statutory bodies, state-owned enterprises, and other public officers. Permit me especially to thank the Permanent Secretary, Deputy Permanent Secretary, Advisor, and staff of the Ministry of Finance who have worked tirelessly in the past years in a less than ideal working environment. I must mention the Attorney General and our staff, the Cabinet Secretary, the Director of GIS, and staff, the Press Secretary, and many others who played various roles in budget preparation and presentation process. I wish to record my thanks to you, Mr. Speaker, and the Clerk of Parliament and his staff who have given me full support in facilitating delivery of my presentation. Mr. Speaker, finally, allow me to reiterate my appreciation to my constituents of St. Patrick East for their support and confidence in my representation in this honorable House. Thank you, and may God continue to bless you or bless us all.
Thank you, Minister for Finance, for presenting the statement of revenue and expenditure to this honorable House.
It happens to all of us. Low on cash and in need of money right away. Play Instacash Monday to Sunday and there are no draws.
So what you saying? No numbers to choose from?
Nope.
And no draw sessions to wait on?
Nope.
And we can play it anytime and any day?
Yep. Including Sundays. Instacash. Ask for it by name and choose from a wide variety of games as low as $2 and win instantly. It is fast, it is easy to play, and you win cash right away. Must be 18 years or older to play. NLA, making your dreams come true.
Good morning, viewers and listeners. Welcome to the National Lotteries Authority's Daily Pick 3 with Multi-X Mid-Morning Draw for today, Friday, March 7th, 2025. I am Anisha Charles. With me this morning is Ms. Dion Francis from RSO and Company Limited, accountants and advisors, whose purpose is to ensure that this show is conducted in an accounted manner and the game balls with industry standards and in no way tampered with. For this time, show tickets at hand. It's Daily Pick 3. It pays to play. Good luck. This morning's winning number is, check the tickets in the meantime. First number up is 9, second number is 8, third and final number is 6. Okay, let's recap those numbers. Numbers on the screen, check your tickets. First number up is 9, the second, 8, third and final is 6. So that's 9, 8, and 6. Congratulations to all our winners. It's now time for the multi-X draw. Hope you got the tickets out. Let's play and good luck. This morning's winning multi-X ball is FB. Let's recap. This morning's winning multi-X ball is FB. Congratulations to all the winners. For Pick 3 multi-X tickets drawn last evening, we had a total prize payout of $9,140 with a total of 58 winners. And of course, congratulations to those of you who are part of this payout. Stay tuned at the Play with multi-X draw up next. We'll see you soon. Welcome back everyone to another Play with multi-X mid-morning draw for today, Friday, March 7th, 2025. I am Anisha Charles. With me again is Ms. Dion Francis from RSO and Company Limited, accountants and advisors, whose purpose is to ensure that this show is conducted in an accounted manner and the game balls with industry standards and in no way tampered with. Let's play, value your dreams, so win your way. Good luck. Number is 23. Let's recap the number 2323. 23 represents dream symbol rat. Congratulations to all our winners. It's now time for the multi-X draw. We got the tickets out. Let's play and good luck. This morning's winning multi-X ball is FB. Let's recap. This morning's winning multi-X ball is FB. Congratulations, all the winners. We played multi-X tickets drawn last evening. We had a total prize paid of $35,520 with a total of 611 winners. And of course, congratulations to those of you who are part of this field. Stay tuned, get the Daily Cash with multi-X draw up next. We'll see you really soon. Welcome back, everyone, to another Daily Cash with multi-X mid-morning draw for today, Friday, March 7th, 2025. I am Anisha Charles. With me once again is Ms. Dion Francis from RSO & Company Limited, accountants and advisors, whose purpose is to ensure that this draw is conducted in an accountable manner, that the game balls within industry standards and in no way tampered with. At the same show tickets at hand, it's Daily Cash for more plays, bigger prizes. Let's find out what this morning's winning numbers will be. Good luck to you. Check the tickets. First number this morning is first number up is 7, second number is 3, third number up, third number is 8, fourth and final number is 2. Okay, let's recap those numbers on the screen. Check your tickets. First number up is 7, the second 3, third 8, fourth and final is 2. So that's 7, 3, 8 and 2. Congratulations to all the winners. It's time for the multi-X draw. Hope you got the tickets out. Let's play and good luck. This morning's winning multi-X ball is FB. Let's recap. This morning's winning multi-X ball is FB. Congratulations to all the winners. For cash with multi-X tickets drawn last evening, we had a total prize paid of $13,400 with a total of 31 winners. And of course, congratulations to those of you who are part of this field. We already play all the games of the National Lotteries Authority support sports, culture, and nation building. Thanks for joining us. Have a wonderful day.
What if you had a choice? A choice of joining a line or a choice of making your purchases online? What would you choose? While you ponder on that, the National Lotteries Authority has provided another purchasing option. All their games are now available online. Yes, Grenadians! From wherever you are, purchase your favorite daily and jackpot-type games using any electronic device. Register on the NLA's website at www.nla.gd. Top up your account and enjoy online lottery gaming at your convenience. We're taking shopping comfort up, up, up several notches, but the choice is yours. Join a line or buy online. NLA, make your dreams come true.
Grenada is indeed beautiful and worth exploring. We firmly believe that you should be allowed to do so. Why not explore Grenada with James Services Corp Off-Road Tours? Whether you decide to explore Grenada with your family, spouse, or large group of friends, we are ready to welcome you. Our tours are guaranteed to leave you with wonderful memories of Grenada if you are visiting and excitement if you live here. Book a tour with us now by visiting our website www.jamessvcs.com. Call 1473-442-3769 or email info@jamessvcs.com. James Services Corp Off-Road Tours.
I am Dennis James Williams, owner and director of James Services Corp. Looking forward to welcoming you to the beautiful island of Union to explore with James Services Corp Off-Road Tours. See you soon.
Explore our beautiful island of Grenada from an angle that is unique and off-road, but equally fun. We are 100% family-friendly tours.
I think nutrition is an integral part of managing many of the diseases that we see manifesting here in our region. If we don't make food our medicine, medicine will eventually become our food.
We're trying to focus on reading food labels, because reading food labels, it's also another important factor in making sure that we as persons choose healthier food options.
Join us on Caribbean Medical TV right here on this station.
Like a freestyle, the life blood flowing mile by mile. It's legacy, a beat that don't stop like Bob Marley say. One love on top, BCUH water out of sight, but it's always wrong, don't lose the light. From factories and wells so deep, corals, mangroves and fish they weep. Green water for the garden, keep it green. Save the cash and the earth gets clean. We use the water with a mindful mind. It's out of sight but never far behind. In nature, the answers always flow. Like water running pure, the cycle grows. It renews itself, same drop, same beat. It's all good, man, you got the heat. Water flow, water flow. No clean water, no vibes they grow. Protect our water, protect our future.
Time to go.
Got something to share?
Call us at 440-1252.
WhatsApp 405-3052 or 407-8458.
Or email gbnnews@gbn.gd.
GBN News, first, accurate, voted #1.
Home point updated.
There we had it, the budget presentation there by Minister of Finance Dennis Conwell. Just about 2 hours, long, just over 2 hours. A budgetary amount of $1,912,872,014. Many plans and programs, the policy directive of the government. We just heard there from the Finance Minister, and as we anticipated, Pastor Warm, a recovery budget in that for Carriacou. Some of the pillars of the budget spoke to that of housing, and we know most of Carriacou's housing stock was damaged during burial, and that of healthcare. We spoke, it's almost as if we anticipated well.
Absolutely. And of course, as we said earlier on, eyes would be turned onto Carriacou. Interestingly, I was across there just about a week and a half ago to be able to look and see what was taking place there. The recovery process, a little on the slower side, I dare say, and one would understand, because we had our own challenge back in 2004 when Hurricane Ivan hit us. And it was quite a task in rebuilding. But I think once you get certain things out of the way, the rebuilding process is going to speed up. So it was really refreshing to hear that there are quite a substantial allocation for the restoration work in Carriacou. That's needed more than anything else. And the fact that there are so many people still displaced. Many individuals have come either to the mainland, gone to Caribbean countries, and into international countries too. A lot of people really want to get back into their homes and settle back down to a normal life.
Yes. Home is home, and home will always be home, right?
That's correct.
While yes, we understand that
you will be displaced after a hazard would have affected us, home will always be home. But also some incentives out there for some of the people who have been making a clarion call for a while. Our bus operators are getting a subsidy. The honorarium for our doctors and nurses will continue. It's extended for this year. Among other things, we also have education, the transformation or transforming of our education institutions. We have been hearing about some of the comments that parents would make as relates to that. So the transformation agenda of government was clearly detailed in this year's plan as to what's happening. And also the same thing we were speaking of before the budget, that of entering new markets. Other markets with some of the challenges we notice, we foresee and may encounter along the way with some of the traditional markets that we have always worked with. We hear of New Africa, as we were speaking to, and other countries in the budget presentation. So we see that government is, or rather would have presented a budget that would allow us to be flexible somewhat in all that's happening with the external forces.
Yes, you're sure right. I was glad to hear the minister referring to extending our borders, so to speak, in terms of foreign relationship.
Yes.
That is so very important. And I think for every country, you want to have a good foreign relationship package. You want to ensure that you keep those countries that were fraternal to you, friendly to you, but also seek to get other friends. Now, we really cannot do this alone. No country is really independent from that aspect, from that arm. You would need support, you would need friendly countries out there who will come to your rescue. And it's not always about coming to your rescue. It's about you also seeking to help when their time comes for assistance, as the case may be. So it's nice to hear the minister talked about just expanding our vision a little bit more and ensuring that we get our foreign policies right and we get some more friends on board to help us through economic difficulties and challenges.
Yes. And I think those things are critical. They are very, very critical. In addition to that, the investment climate. We also heard a lot about that. That on the manufacturing sectors, tourism, some agribusiness. That are some of the areas, focused areas of government on that of investments. The CBI continued work on the what's the new name now? The MIA. Yes, continued with the CBI program, and we know that we recognize that some of the external forces and that of the CBI program we recognize that some of the bigger countries now are providing some competition to it. So it means that we must stay current, and to do so, then we have to continue to upgrade. Yes, and I think we recognize that. That was one of the things, one of the highlights of the budget too.
Yeah, we heard, of course, President Trump, of course, who is talking about the gold card.
Yes.
And controversial as it might be, all our countries are now looking at how they can develop and increase revenues.
Yes, so we have to work with the time to ensure that we are ready to respond when additional competition comes on board.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think now is the right time for us to introduce our guest. With the conclusion of the presentation of the budget, it's tradition that we get to speak to key players, but this time around we'll be doing it different. We'll be speaking to one person, and one very important person today. Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell, welcome to the broadcast, and thank you so much for being here with us.
No, good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here. I see we seem to be all
coordinating our colors.
Today, so it's a pleasure.
I saw that when you sat inside.
Well, I should have been Prime Minister that there was a bit of coordination between myself and Ortlin, but yours is coincidental.
Yes.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
But we welcome. Third budget, the first one, it was you. I remember having to go for 3 hours. That was an interesting one. Now you have passed on the baton to Minister Cornwall. It is, as I was speaking to Pastor Worm, my first question to you today is, how is it to govern at this time? To prepare a budget, Hurricane Beryl last year, all the external forces, all the things that are happening in the world. As a small island developing state, as the leader of a small island developing state, there must be a different level of commitment, dedication, some sleepless nights, I'm sure, very stressful experience with all that's happening, and how do you continue to guide us to ensure we stay afloat, we continue to flourish, and that while yes, the externals can affect us, but we can still keep our heads above water?
Well, I think, no question, it's a difficult task, but there are a couple of things that I think are going for us. One, as Minister Cornwall said in his speech, you notice there were several biblical quotes in there, and I think we recognize that we are blessed despite the challenges that we've had by the support of the Almighty. I think the second factor is really the resilience and support of our people. You know, post-Hurricane Beryl, it wasn't just the government, but it was the volunteers, the Grenadians who rose despite their own circumstances to help others. You know, in Carriacou and Peach Martinique, many of the volunteers and public officers who themselves lost their homes. But yet still they were out doing what they could to assist others in need. So I think just recognizing that there are persons who themselves were on the brunt of the damage caused by Hurricane Beryl, and that they were prepared to sacrifice, notwithstanding, and give up being with their own families to ensure that they could help others, was inspiring. And so for me, as the Prime Minister of the country, with no damage done to me or to my family, it was important that I spent as much time as possible supporting and encouraging and motivating all of us to try and rally to the cause. So I think that has been a tremendous factor. Our regional support as well has been, as you can see, consistent. It has been strong, both in terms of financial support, material support, the solidarity and the encouragement. So CARICOM has played a tremendous role in helping us rebuild. Guyana, for example, kept troops in Carriacou for an extended period of time, not just providing security, but enormous capacity in terms of rebuilding government facilities, from the police stations to the courthouses to some of the schools, to providing us with a lot of materials that private homeowners could use to rebuild. So, you know, the regional security system, the CDEM, all of our regional institutions which deal with disaster management and preparedness, you know, came to our rescue. So that was also a significant factor. And then internationally, you know, countries from the Middle East to Africa, to our traditional partners in North and South America, North America, you know, Canada, all supported us. You see, even recently, we got a significant donation of supplies from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So our international partners have come to assistance as well, and they recognize that, you know, you'd have the immediate, in a sense, sometimes hysteria of relief to deal with, but then you also have to rebuild, and that's usually a much longer process. And so ensuring that we have partners who understand the medium to long-term support is still needed is critical. Then I would say, from a domestic perspective, we have done certain things that have clearly made us certainly financially more resilient. Having a Fiscal Resilience Act in place which keeps us disciplined, and our fiscal approach to managing our expenditure is key. Ensuring that we purchase and remain in the game on catastrophic risk insurance is vital. And I say this because when I became Prime Minister, there was conversations which had started before us as to whether or not we should remain with the catastrophic risk insurance, given the significant premiums that had been paid and that we received no payouts. And my position was that we were staying with it come hell or high water, because we recognized the importance of it. But we went further. We also recognized that some of our key infrastructure companies, like the water and the power company, did not have catastrophic risk insurance. In the case of Grenada in particular, they've been self-insuring at enormous cost. So we were able to get that extended to those two key sectors, and I think going forward we will certainly do everything to see how we can get other sectors to be extended. In the case of agriculture, the Minister for Agriculture literally came to me, I think, a month before the hurricane hit, asking for support to pay premiums that will provide crop insurance coverage to some of our farmers, and we readily agreed to it. And again, we were lucky as a result of that to have some funding to assist. So ensuring that we continue to look at fiscal tools that will allow us to build financial resilience to deal with natural and other disasters is critical. We also have a 2% contingency fund that we set aside for immediate disaster responses, and under the National Transformation Fund that is related to the Investment by Migration program, we have set aside, since we came into office and we amended the regulations on this issue, the 10% that is required to ensure that we can build financial resilience into our system. So it's a rainy day fund for economic shocks. It's currently at about 44 million. And I want to emphasize, as the Minister of Finance emphasized, we have not actually touched that fund to treat with the Hurricane Beryl response. because we believe the catastrophic risk insurance and the other measures are adequate for us to be able to deal with that. So on the financial side, that has helped quite a lot, but we need to continue building resilience, because you do recognize you can get a hurricane every year, or you can get a drought or a fire or some other man-made or natural or health challenge on an annual basis. So we have to continue building the resilience into this. We've had significant teamwork. The cabinet of ministers, senior management within the various ministries have all rolled up their sleeves and work together on delivering first an immediate response to the hurricane, and then working on complete disaster management, and then working on some of the long-term approaches to how we are able to treat with some of this. But no doubt it is challenging, and it's made more challenging now by some of the tensions that have increased in recent times, in terms of the additional tensions that already existed in the geopolitical space, both regionally and internationally. So I think for us it's important for us to play our role in ensuring that we advocate for dialogue, for people to speak and negotiate solutions to the challenges that we face, rather than nationalism and military or aggressive approach to things. Wars and disputes don't serve anyone, and in particular small islands are oftentimes severely impacted by the consequences of those, even if you're not directly involved in any of the disputes. So we're also mindful of our need for advocacy too, to encourage all countries to talk and to sit at the table. And as I've said repeatedly, we are happy to host them in the Caribbean, in Grenada, so that they can do the dialoguing if necessary.
You talk about the teamwork and how your cabinet and other auxiliary parties have supported in the just getting ourselves back together after Beryl. What would you say about the resilience of the people themselves, and Carriacouans in particular? How have they really responded to this challenge?
Well, I think, there's no doubt, I think in the first 48 hours, and perhaps for some weeks after, I think it would be fair to say that I think most persons were in a severe state of shock. It's not an easy thing to wake up and in half an hour to recognize that almost everything that you've built in your life has literally disappeared or significantly crumbled, and not just you, but your entire island. So there's no doubt, I think, that there was some significant shock. I think by having so many volunteers come up quickly in the immediate aftermath, and having our international partners and donors come to Carriacou, I think it helped our brothers and sisters there to come out of the shock and to recognize that they were alive. That despite the traumatic experience, that for the most part, and some minor injuries and a death, that we were alive. And if you had life, then there's an opportunity to start all over again and to rebuild. And I think certainly in the last several months, it is quite clear, if you go to Carriacou now, that the citizens have bounced back. In many instances, they're bouncing back better, and I think they recognize that they have an opportunity to not just rebuild the physical infrastructure, but I think the community, a lot of the cultural intangibles of Carriacou, to continue preserving them and to make sure that it can be preserved for next generations of citizens of Carriacou, Petit Martinique, and Grenada. So I certainly think they are doing much better now. We've spent a lot of time focusing on the elderly. You recognize we moved a lot of the elderly who were in homes and so on to Grenada so that we can provide the support needed, and then they've moved back. And I think that's an indication. If people were not resilient, they'd probably want to stay in Grenada. But the fact that they've asked to return, and that many of them, despite the challenges, did not move, but chose to stay in Carriacou, I think is testimony to their strong connection to their islands. That has happened. We've also provided support to the students at TAMCC by again moving them and supporting them, whether it's through financial support or tablets, etc. But there's still a very clear connection and desire to go back to Carriacou. So we are supporting that. In the field of education, it's important for the children in particular to have had a normal return as quickly as possible to routine schooling. That is coming along significantly. So we certainly think, despite the initial challenge of the shock and the devastation, that Carriacou and Petit Martinique has shown tremendous resilience, and that they're bouncing back quite well. But obviously the support is something that we cannot take for granted, the psychosocial support, because oftentimes, I had this experience where someone said to me, after we indicated we were going to have a curfew in the immediate aftermath of the hurricane, the person said they were having flashbacks about COVID-19, and so I said to them we would only keep the curfew if it was absolutely necessary, and you saw we lifted it quite easily once we were satisfied there was no security or health risk to the general population. But you can't underestimate sometimes that people relive trauma, and so they need to continue support and continue providing counseling and so on for our brothers and sisters in Carriacou and in the north of the island. I'm sure will remain for quite a long time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, considering also, Prime Minister, that the hurricane was so devastating in Carriacou and also here in Grenada. Are you satisfied actually with your government's performance in terms of reaching out and dispelling doubts and just bringing back some measure of confidence to our people?
No, certainly. I think if you take, first of all, I think just the entire experience of the hurricane itself and our approach. We were always there, we were always available, and we used almost every tool that was available to remain in constant communication before, during, and after the passage of the hurricane. Despite some of the limitations that NADMA has, and we're still in a transition period, I think NADMA also did well, supported by our regional bodies. I think all of the MPs led in many instances from the front. They were, for example, the Minister of Finance was in the emergency operating center in Riversally leading up to the storm and during the storm. So because we recognize that in times like these, we have to lead from the front and we have to be there with our people. So I think from that perspective, I would certainly say we are satisfied with the response. I think the single biggest, I think there are three big medium-term challenges. Housing, and it's exacerbated by the fact that we have severe constraints in terms of capacity, from building materials to aggregates to labor. Those are not just challenges facing Grenada, but regionally. You have an economy in Guyana that is very hot. So they're absorbing a lot of that capacity as well. But you have construction booms taking place in places like Barbados, where 6 hotels are started to construct. So there are options for contractors, there are options for persons in labor. But it's compounded by the fact that our education system over the last 2 decades have not really skilled up sufficiently for labor in those areas where the demands are there. So that's that challenge. 2, you have the challenge of the environment. Because the agriculture and many of our forestries were devastated in the north of the island in particular, which in many instances is really where a lot of our rainfall takes place. You have a situation where if you have sharp or high velocity of rainfall for a short period of time, we don't have enough forage or foliage to, in a sense, temper the impact of the rainfall. So what you're having then is you're going to have water coming on in volumes and at a rate that is much faster. And then the challenges of the coast and the south and flood-prone areas. So that's a major challenge. And in effect, we had a drought prior to that. So you would have already had a situation where the forest was taking a battering. And the significant flooding that we had in November, and the year before we also had some significant flooding as well, has undermined a lot of the infrastructure in the country. The bridges, the drains, the road edges and so on. And all of this is happening simultaneously. So it requires, in a sense, calm, but it also requires a plan, and we also have to recognize that you don't improve things overnight. And if we become distracted, then the resilience and the strength we need to build to ensure that we build back better, and 4, 5, 6 years we could withstand some of these occurrences will not happen, because we will